Hey team, just wanted to have a quick chat, especially directed towards our newbies. Really anyone that's been doing CrossFit for, say, somewhere between, 1 day, 1 week, out to even as far as really 6 or 12 months. I still consider you guys newbies, even though you probably feel like part of the furniture and we've gotten to know you pretty well. So when you're new to CrossFit, one of the experiences I think that everyone has, or at least most people, is when you walk into a CrossFit gym, it just feels different. So there's just this, whether there's people in there or not, it's just this big open space. There's no machines, there's nothing really to sit down on. There's lots of pull-up rigs, there's lots of barbells and kettlebells, there's heaps of space. And it can just feel intimidating. You just sense that hard work gets done here. And then, another thing is, if you're unfortunate enough, I'd like to say, for your first experience to be actually seeing a class in action. I always think that it's the worst idea to invite someone or welcome someone down to watch a class, because if anything, it's scarier to watch it. I personally often rock up to different gyms because I love to know what it's like. From a business owner point of view, I want to know what we can do better, what they're doing that's great and what they're doing that's not so good, so that we can try and implement the good things and try and get rid of the not so good things, so that your experience is fantastic. And going into different gyms around Australia, around Europe on our holidays and things, we've picked up different things, but it's super nerve-wracking at times when you go into a gym, you don't know anyone. The community doesn't really acknowledge you. That's a big no-no. And you don't really get welcomed or smiled at. And you watch the class throwing down, and it's very nerve-wracking. It's very unsettling. Even someone who's done it for 10 years and knows how to do thrusters and toe to bar and pull-ups and may finish the workout at the top of the pack. It doesn't matter. What goes through your mind is holy shit, this looks like legit hard. And you know what? You can only go as hard as you can go. So that's part of the experience of being a new CrossFitter. I think another experience is just that, maybe you've watched some stuff online, you've seen people do rope climbs, you've seen heavy snatches, you've seen grunting, you've seen falling over, you've seen puking or lying on the ground sweating, and CrossFit just can have this image of like, it's only for the elite or it's too hard. And, that's really just, none of that stuff is really true. And I think what you'll notice, and hopefully what you've experienced at 3018 is you've experienced that when you come into the gym, that it is quite a welcoming community. You will see some smiles, and provided that people aren't in the middle of the dark zone and their soul has left their body during the workout, you'll find that people are really friendly and approachable. And you'll also find that there's all sorts of people doing CrossFit, There's policemen, there's lawyers, there's cleaners, there's mums and dads, there's athletes, football players, hockey players. There's people that just generally, literally just got off the couch and are ready to change their life. And there's people that have been fit their whole life doing Ironmans or triathlons or powerlifting. And they're using this tool as a way of staying fit, staying healthy, pushing their limits, getting better, and being surrounded by a beautiful community. And one of the things that I think that can be really useful for you guys as newbies is just to continually remind yourself, just check in, but also just remind yourself that all types do CrossFit. One of my most proudest things is that we have a gym that my mum and dad feel comfortable training at and being a part of. And, my dad is 64 and my mum is turning 63 in August. Hopefully I got that right. And, they still feel like a big part of the community and healthy and fit, and that CrossFit is a good training tool for them and for their bodies. Now, they're training a couple of times a week. They're training amongst all you guys of different ages, of different abilities, of different fitness levels. And, they're out of their comfort zone doing overhead squats and overhead presses and deadlifts and trying to keep up. And I just think that's so awesome. I think it's important to just reflect on the people around you. And, as you get deeper into this journey, as you move into the 3-month sort of newbie landmark and then the 6 months of CrossFit, you can really start to look back. And what you'll notice on Saturday at 10:15 is you'll notice that the new crew coming through, that you'll see yourself in them. You'll see that the anxiety and the tension in them when they walk into the gym for the first time, and you'll see the unfamiliarity that they have with snatching with a barbell or a stick, or being around people that they don't know, and it will remind you of how far you've come. And I think that that's really important. One of the best things that all newbies can do, and even some of our athletes that have been with us for 2 years, I reckon, is go back and do that introductory class. Just get into it and just see, what value can I get from this? Just be totally present with it. Because just spending that extra time on the barbell in front of the coach, one-on-one or 1-on-5, just hearing something just a little bit different that you don't hear in the heat of the moment in a class can be just super useful for you. So I know myself that sometimes I'm in my own head when the warm-up starts. Like, I haven't really gotten rid of the problems and the challenges and the to-dos of what the day has required of me. I'm thinking about what I need to achieve after the class, sometimes during the warm-up. And it takes a while for me to switch off. And it might just be a conversation with someone that's really engaging, or it might be the coach saying, "Trico, what the fuck, pay attention." Or it could be just the intensity of the warm-up. When it picks up from just being casual to oh fuck, it's 10 calories on the assault bike and you really have to concentrate on what you're doing. That's normally when the brain stops thinking and we start fully engaging. So, just going back into those intro sessions can be a really good, engaging, learning experience where you get to connect with the important cues and the important points, and even why we do what we do. So I find that super useful. The other thing I think that's super huge as a newbie starting CrossFit is just chatting to people, just getting to know the community. It's not always something that most people are comfortable with. Some people are more outgoing than others, and what you'll find in our community is that we have a lot of outgoing people that are just, you've probably already been grabbed by a few people and had a conversation, but it's just nice to ask them what their journey with CrossFit has been like. What was their first session? What was it like walking into the box for the first time? How are they different? What advice would they give you? Because, we all improve at different levels. We've all had different experiences and have different perspectives. And, I think whether or not your age plays a huge factor in how often you can train, how quick your recovery is, how much you can push, how much you should push, the cost of pushing on your body, on your energy. All these conversations are important as you age. Certainly training as a 20-year-old, you could pretty much max out your thruster on Monday, and then max out your thruster on Tuesday, and then max out your snatch on Wednesday, and PR your deadlift on Thursday, and almost feel ready to go on Friday, like brand new, like give me something hard, I'm good to go. And I think as you turn 30, I can say that, and through conversations, as you turn 40 and as you turn 50, your body just recovers that little bit harder. And we know that, and we program for that. We program for age, we program for intensity. We are aware that there is an effect from training. There is an adaptation that takes place from lifting heavy and training hard, where when you lift a little bit today, you can lift a little bit tomorrow if you've recovered from it. Or you can lift a little bit heavier in 3 days' time if you've recovered from it. And if you haven't, you probably lift a little bit less. the same thing is if you do a little bit too much, you're going to be like really beat up for 4 or 5 days. But if you do just a little bit more, then you're going to be sore-ish for a day or two. So it's about balancing that. And, every 10 years, I think, from what I've heard, it just gets that little bit harder to recover. And, also the stronger you get, the more powerful you become, the more work you can get done in less time. And the demand of that more work equates to a requirement for more recovery. Sometimes our newbies, they get addicted to CrossFit. We call it sipping the Kool-Aid. They get in this habit of training 2 a day, Saturday, Sunday, and showing up for class every day, Monday through Friday, and then maybe hanging back and working handstand push-ups and pull-ups. And, all that's fine when you're snatching 25 kilos in the strength piece and maybe playing with the empty bar in the WOD, or, when your thruster is 30 kilos or 40 kilos and your deadlift's 90. The effect of that on the body is nowhere near what it is when you start maxing out with a deadlift for women of 100 kilos, of 110 kilos, and when your back squat's 75 kilos and your clean and jerk's 65 kilos. All of a sudden, the demand physically on the body during that 1 hour session can take a significant toll. So being mindful of that, making sure that your nutrition has improved as the years go by. And you don't have to have all the answers, but you've got to seek the answers. So your nutrition's got to improve, your recovery's got to improve, your mobility has to improve. We are putting our bodies through more if we want to get better. Now, some of us don't want to get better, and that's cool. If you don't want to get better, if you just want to show up, have fun, and train with the beautiful community we have, that's awesome. But if you do want to get better, and we know that progress helps with consistency, progress helps with actually sticking it out. When progress stops, that's when people generally get demotivated. So we've got to, in my opinion, keep seeking to progress. And in order to do that, we have to continue to improve all these other factors: recovery, sleep, nutrition, and we also have to continue to look for ways to get better. So as a new CrossFitter, 0 to 12 months, it's really, really important that you're mindful that this is a journey. You are at the start of the journey. And whilst everything at the moment maybe feels unfamiliar and new, and you have all these desires and these goals to do your first pull-up and to deadlift your body weight and to do a workout RX, and look at all these amazing athletes in the gym that have been doing it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and how much they can lift and how much they can do. They've been putting their bodies through this pressure and through this training stress for a long period of time, and you will get there. You will get to that point. And what you need to know early is that it takes time. Some people have strengths and weaknesses that are different to other people's strengths and weaknesses. Some people have sporting backgrounds that leads them into being better at CrossFit in those areas. Like if you've got a swimming background at distance, you're probably going to be better at 20-minute AMRAPs than someone who's just walked in off the street. One, because you've trained, but two, you've also trained distance, so you're used to those longer efforts. And also just to get to know the community, so that you really feel a sense of belonging, but also a sense of awareness that things take time. Progress comes in all different ways. Just because you can't do an overhead squat and it's been 3 months, neither could so-and-so who was here for 9 months until they got theirs. And, just because someone got their double unders on day 1 and you're still struggling to get your first double under after 2 years, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing CrossFit. That doesn't mean that you should give up on yourself. That's a reason to just double down and keep working on it. And engage, because there's stuff that you're good at, there's stuff that you are naturally good at, and there's also there's definitely a reward and a sense of real achievement that comes with mastering, not even mastering, but with getting a skill that took you time, effort, blood, sweat, tears, dreams, thought, and lots and lots and lots of study and questions. You know, the reward of getting a bar muscle up is exhilarating because of how hard it is to get there. The reward of getting a handstand for someone who has practiced it for 9 months is far more exciting than the person who used to do them in the schoolyard and confidently just does it first go. So, you know, that which is hard, that which is challenging is good for us. It's rewarding and it's enjoyable. And, you know, I really hope that you newbies enjoy your experience with 3018 and that in 1 year, 2 years and 3 years to come, and 8 years and 10 years, who knows, can really look back and support our new members that we have in the future to progress, to overcome their fears, and be fantastic support and role models for them.